Hello, everybody. Welcome to Attitude, Altitude, and Acceptance. On this episode, we're going to be talking about purpose equaling power. Now, for this one, purpose is meaning why you do things. Why are you living the life the way you are? What are you trying to live or go towards? So many of us think of purpose as something big that has to be taken and done for, like, saving the world or going and feeding the hungry. So things like that can also be a purpose. But purpose can also be providing the life for your family that you couldn't have when you were younger, or going and providing lunches to those who are hungry. You might also have something that's as large as being able to feed all the hunger of the world. Now that's a big goal, but doesn't mean that you can't do it, but at least it gives you something to march towards and really try and take little steps to get towards that purpose that you feel, the one of providing good to others without an expectation of receiving anything back. I want to go a little bit into how I think I found my purpose. Maybe it'll help you give some insight into how you can find your own, as it doesn't always come easily. And you'll notice that as I kind of go through my own story, that it's not as simple as, oh, that's my purpose, or oh, I read this and now that's my purpose. Sometimes it is that easy, which is great and very fortunate for those who have been able to go and find their purpose that easily. But for others, it may be more of a journey, more of a challenge to really determine, is that what I want to do? Is that my purpose? Again, purposes can be small, such as like providing for your family, the life that you didn't have, or things such as like feeding the hungry of the world. So I'll go ahead and go into my way I found my purpose. So in the work that I do, I often coach or help individuals through what they might be working on or what they are thinking about or stressful situations in their lives or in their work that they're currently encountering. And I did this for a while, and it was kind of a normal thing. I felt good when I did it. It was nothing out of the ordinary. I felt that was part of my job and I enjoyed doing it. I never really thought much of it, just like, oh, that's another part of my job. I will keep going and doing that. What I realized is I had a conversation with one of my friends, and they had had a really bad day, and it seemed everything was being thrown at them. Every stumbling block they could have encountered, they did. Every person that wanted something from them wanted something right now, and it just felt overwhelming. So I told them to step back and take a moment and think about, was it really them needing everybody else needing something from them, or were they putting that on themselves to really go and try and satisfy all these needs, even though it wasn't necessarily something they needed to go do, but they felt responsible in some way. So through this process, I was able to help coach, get them to a better state of mind, and feel better, and take a different approach for some of those challenges that they were being presented with. After I had talked to this friend and gone over what I thought was just another kind of helping somebody out or doing something that would benefit somebody without really any expectation that, oh, I'm going to get something out of this. It was just helpful. I felt a huge sense of joy, just like I had to share how well I felt. So I told other people, I just helped this person out, and it felt wonderful. I felt like I'd really contributed towards this person living and growing into something better or developing into something more than what they were before we had the conversation. And it was amazing. And I really, from that point, I realized I want to do this for so many other people and so many groups of people that I have to start. I have to do something. And that's what drove me to begin this channel and to really start trying to help people in the way that I thought was a good start. Now, again, nothing's perfect. You get a purpose, you might encounter those roadblocks that doesn't financially make sense, or it doesn't work with your current responsibilities. You might not be able, if you feel like I want to be a travel vlogger, it might not align with your current responsibilities as a parent or a caretaker. So those are important things to take into consideration when you are looking for or defining your purposes. Is it something you really enjoy? Is it something that you feel is going to make your life worth getting up in the morning, worth pursuing, doing in any extra free time that you have? Is it worth that? And very importantly, is it something that you could make money off of? Because you can have your purpose, and it would be great if you could go do that and not have to worry about money. But we do live in a society where money is a necessity. You have to be able to provide for yourself and for your family, or for those who look to you for resources. So that's very important when you're considering your purpose, about what is feasible. And you might have to adjust. And the other part is, as you move through going for that purpose and defining, oh, that's what I want to go do, you might find that your path changes. You encounter something in that pursuit of your purpose that redefines your purpose. Nothing wrong with that. There isn't a one and done. Your purpose will continue to grow. If you say, I want to go and help the homeless of my community, you might start there and then say, well, actually what I realize is the homeless need coaching on how to better utilize the resources available for them. So your thought process changes. It goes into something else. So it's really important to make sure that you do realize that purpose is not a one and done. If I define this, I'm going to be happy for the rest of my life. There's usually not something like that. If it is, great. I applaud you and I'm happy for you. But just don't beat up on yourself if you feel like, oh, my purpose has changed. I can't stay consistent. I can't maintain my discipline to really pursue my purpose. That's not necessarily what that means. It could mean that you've learned something through your pursuit of purpose that now changes your trajectory, or changes the way you look at things, or what you thought about something. So don't ever think of a change in purpose being a problem. So again, I want you to take this thought about purpose equaling power. So when we go and define a purpose, it instills in us a sense of drive, a sense of being able to really say, I'm going to spend all my time, or all my available time, to go and pursue this. That's the power. That's the drive. So when I say power, I'm really referring to like the drive, but that power also gives you a sense of like ownership, and that, okay, I've defined this for myself and I'm going to go do this. Other people might say, well, that's a bad idea. That's not going to make sense. But by having that power from your purpose, you can ignore those. You can move past them. You can really rise above the noise, as we said in the title, and look towards what you want to go do and how you will pursue that purpose. So that power instills a drive, as well as the ability to rise above that noise that you may or may not really want to incorporate into your purpose. Now, there might be, don't ignore advice. Some advice is warranted, but there is a lot of noise out there where people say you can't. If somebody says you can't, take it with a grain of salt, rise above it. Remember, you define what you can or cannot do, not somebody else. So I want to thank you for joining this video. Think a little bit about this and what that purpose might be for you. Where are you going to get your power from? What's going to drive you? Until next time, thank you for joining. Have a wonderful day.